What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Okay, so we got some problems, folks, in the DOJ. Check this out. Justice Department lawyers flee in droves rather than defend Trump. Oh yeah, here we go, folks. Let's get into this because this is fascinating, if you will. There's been a mass exodus at the DOJ's Federal Programs Branch, a unit specifically tasked with defending Trump's most aggressive policies in court. Of the 110 lawyers at the Federal Programs Branch, 69 have either already quit or announced that they're quitting since Trump won in November, according to Reuters. That's fascinating. That's three quarters. Yeah, right at three quarters of DOJ attorneys for that specific program have left. And like it said, these are the ones specifically tasked with defending Trump's executive orders and all of his policies and blah, 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 blah. That's good. I'm happy. Yes, get these people out of there and get new lawyers in here because these people, once again, they are tasked with defending Trump's policies in court. Depending on how well they can do their jobs depends on what policies Donald Trump can get through the courts. Because we know we got all these activist judges out here with their activist judge activity nonsense trying to stop the Trump administration from conducting constitutionally authorized duties, right? Like deporting criminal aliens. So if we don't have a lawyer, if you got Biden holdovers or something like that, and they really just don't care, they're not going to make the best possible arguments in court to win the cases. If they have no incentive to do so. So, good. Get these people out of there, sure. Is it going to be rough on the lawyers that remain? Yes. And I'm sorry, but look, this kind of purge is good. Like this department specifically, I think that should be purged. You know, every time we change presidents, for goodness sakes. Like I said, especially if it's, going from party to party, if it's a party switch, essentially. Get all those people out there because they're not going to have any incentive. As a matter of fact, they would have more of an incentive to be subversive to your policies than they would to assist, right? It's fascinating if you ask me. I love this. I just love it. Many of them left because they felt overwhelmed by the workload. They're fighting an unprecedented number of lawsuits. Yes, they are, as a matter of fact. And that's due in part mostly to Democrats and NGOs and labor unions and all these other people that think that they can sue the government to stop the government from carrying out its constitutional duties. It's insane what's going on in the court system these days, folks. If you haven't kept up with it, subscribe to this channel, by the way. One DOJ spokesperson said, others felt ideologically compromised by the positions the administration was forcing them to defend, like the end of birthright citizenship, massive DOGE cuts from Elon Musk, or the countless extrajudicial deportations carried out by ICE. Now, what is fascinating about that, in case you didn't latch on to that, okay, so they listed all of those things as ideological, and they happened to mention DOGE cuts. Hang on just a second. So you have lawyers that are tasked with defending the administration, the President of the United States and his policies, believe that cutting from the federal government, cutting our spending back to not even fiscally responsible areas, but to just less fiscally irresponsible positions, and they see that as ideological. Spending cuts is ideological these days. That's insane. That's how these people, and this is from the New Republic, which it should be the far leftist. I'm just saying. Really? Doge cuts are ideological. I don't understand Democrats at all. That is not an ideological position. That should be a bipartisan position. As a matter of fact, the last president to do any sort of major cutting of federal spending, cutting of employees in the federal government, was a Democrat. Bill Clinton, folks. So where and why has the Democratic Party gone so far off the rails that they believe that cutting your spending a little bit is ideologically driven? I posed that question to the comment section, y'all. I found that to be insane. Many of these people came to work at federal programs to defend aspects of our constitutional system. One of the outgoing lawyers told Reuters, how could they participate in the project of tearing it down? Huh? What do you mean tearing it down? Like, personally, staff rotation in the federal government is high. They rotate through a lot of people a lot of times from what I hear. So all these people quitting, is that what they mean by tearing it down? Or are they talking about defending Trump's policies? See, that's how I took it in the first one, the latter. As all these people leaving is tearing it down, but I don't think that's what it is. If you look at it from a deranged perspective, they believe that Trump's policies are burning this country to the ground, when in actuality, Donald Trump is actually trying to restore some sort of logic back to the Constitution, because we have gotten away from logic, folks. That's why I named my channel what I did, right? That's why I invented that word specifically for this channel. We're placing logic back into politics. That's what Donald Trump seems to be doing right now. Like all this DEI nonsense, it's all illogical. It's all race-based nonsense. It really is. So they believe Donald Trump is tearing it down when he's actually, in reality, building it back up, getting us back to enforcing our laws. Right? These people, these are the same people that will defend open borders, that will defend all the nonsense ideological spending of USAID. They will defend those things and tell you that people are dying because of Elon Musk cutting our spending. Like, get this. At some point, we cannot continue to spend in a deficit, right? We can all agree on that. Like, everybody has credit card limits. You have limits to what you can spend. Why would we want to get to that limit? Doesn't make any sense. And the federal government, what do? They just say, oh, well, we're in charge of that limit, so we'll just raise that limit. Do you think that's good? Do you think that's a good idea? I mean, think about it. If you could just continually raise your credit card limit, your credit limit on your card, you think you should do that? I mean, what do you think the payments are going to look like after 10 years of doing that, 20 years of doing that, 30 years of doing that? They're going to rival the defense budget, which they are. Almost $1 trillion. But these people, they don't want to cut any spending because it's ideologically driven. Oh, that's Republican propaganda, folks. That's all it is. The federal programs branch plays a crucial role in pushing Trump's agenda forward, and the Justice Department is working actively to refill the positions with individuals more inclined to mindlessly carry out the president's will, no matter how blatantly unconstitutional. Isn't that what that department is supposed to be for? Defending the president's policies and executive orders? Like, these people are nuts. They really, really are. They're insane. Like, the way they just frame that, like, just blindly following the Trump administration. No. You go in there and you figure out whatever way to take Trump's policy and argue it to a judge if it's legal or not. If it's not legal, and you believe it's not legal, then argue that to the freaking courts. Jeez. You don't have to mindlessly follow Donald Trump to do that job. Right? Think about it like this. You have defense attorneys that abso-freaking-lutely know that whatever client they have that they're defending is guilty of whatever he did. They know it deep down. They might not admit it, but they do everything they can to defend their client. What is different about this? Nothing. Nothing whatsoever. But these people are so deranged with Donald Trump that they're like, no, we can't even do this. Good. Get these people out of there. I'm glad that they're quitting. It sucks for the people that remain, for the loyal people that actually care about the Constitution, that actually care about the authority of the President of the United States. Those are good, upstanding people. If you cannot do your job and carry out your constitutionally authorized duties, then what are you doing? Get out of there. Leave. Quit. Good. Glad you're gone. Bye-bye. We don't need you anymore. I think this news article was meant to kind of poke at Trump a little bit, like, oh, he's so insane and deranged, when we're actually over here cheering for this. Yes, this is good. He's trying to downsize the size of the federal government. Of course, I read another news article from a right-wing source, and there's sources in there that say that the government has a hiring freeze right now, and they've lifted that freeze on the DOJ for that program specifically so they can get enough people back in there. Like right now, they need as many people as they can get. And, you know, once again, folks, I think it's a good thing to get any ideologically driven lawyers that are supposed to be defending Donald Trump that probably won't do a good job. I mean, one of them has already been fired. I forget the guy's name, but it was in relation to, guess what? The Kilmar Abrego Garcia story, where the guy admitted in court that there was an administrative error in deporting Kilmar Abrego Garcia, and that started the Maryland Man hoax. When all the corporate press outlets wrote up, you know, Maryland father mistakenly deported, which was just a complete lie, because he was a Salvadorian national deported to El Salvador. There was no mistake in his deportation, right? There was an error because he didn't get an interview. I wouldn't call that an administrative error either. He just didn't get an interview that pretty much would have told him, you're getting deported to El Salvador because the threats to your life from Barro 19 no longer exist. Goodbye. But it is what it is, folks. You know how the corporate press, they love to twist and turn their narrative or whatever it is. It's all fascinating if you ask me, but I think I've rambled on for long enough. I want y'all to let me know what y'all think about all this down in the comment section. Y'all don't forget to smash that like button for me. Subscribe if you're new around here. Share this video all over the place if you will. Sign up, become a member, help this channel flourish and grow and explode and all that good goobly gobbly stuff. Y'all do all that for me. Y'all try to have a good day. Stay legitical. Peace.